Hey, this is Shiraz, and before we get started, I just want to let you know that when I clear something for someone, when I cause a shift, I tend to yawn and cough from the energetic shift that happens. I don't know why it happens. It's just how my body works. And if you don't know that, you're going to listen to this video and go, what the hell is wrong with this guy? You might still think that, but now there's more of an explanation. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you hear something that you can absolutely relate to, when I cleared for them, you can get it cleared for you too. Just say yes when they're saying yes, and it works. I have people that watch these videos every morning to get stuff cleared. This can be your new morning habit too. Okay, that's enough for that. Let's get on with the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you get a great shift out of it. See you soon.
So I came back because you said the next time we'll work on my dog. I'm really dying to know how you're going to do that one.
Okay, what's going on with your dog?
We rescued him in February, and he has total terror around cars and
Yep.
around shelters.
Okay.
But now it's to the point where his anxiety is so high, it's increasing his vasculitis in his ear. So the whole tip of his ear is
Yep.
like turning black and crusty and essentially dying.
Okay.
But I can't. And so now I'm like, now it's triggering me because I'm worried about him and all of this stuff. And
Nope.
like I'm sitting here earlier today, I was talking to my girlfriend. I'm like, am I the one? Like, is it my anxiety that's triggering his stuff? She goes, don't own that. And I'm like, well, it might be. But I
So
just like he's such an anxious dog. Like he's terrified of the outdoors. He's terrified of cars. If he hears a car, if he hears a noise, he like just trembles and shakes, and it's awful and it's heartbreaking.
okay. So I want you to like take this in. You chose to get a
I
dog
know,
with anxiety issues.
I know.
What does that distraction keep you from doing in your life?
Oh, I don't know, dating, building a business, traveling, living my life, a few things.
So yeah, so that's this is like a
I mean,
one.
I literally got him on the day that I was supposed to have a third date with a guy that I was like, I don't know if I like him or not. Like, he invited me over to his house. I'm a little nervous. I'll go get a dog instead. And I picked the most anxious dog in the entire shelter.
Okay.
Like,
See some
not that I was scared of dating or anything,
okay. No, not at all. So notice this dog gives you an excuse to get out of things.
for sure. For sure. Like, yes, I mean, nobody comes over to my house. Like, I don't really go anywhere. I don't leave for long periods of time because when I do, I come back and he's pooped in my house.
Okay.
Like, I mean, he is the perfect reason for me to not live or leave.
Yeah. Okay. I want
Yes.
you like let that sink in.
I
Right?
have. I just don't know how to fix it, Shiraz.
Okay. But you fix it by asking yourself, well, if the dog wasn't there, or if the dog was perfectly fine, what would you feel you had to do that you don't want to do?
Mm. Um, the funny thing is I tried to rehome him 200 times.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Because you're not ready to, because he's serving you
I
so
know.
well.
I yeah, like talk about hot flashes. I think that I think part of it is the fact that I really like hearing you talk earlier about your travels and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, I want that so much. And
That's
I
not
have
coming
a
up true.
seven, huh?
That's not coming up true. Continue.
Well, but there's a catch to it, right?
Yep.
So if I leave town, my daughter has to go to her dad's house, which is a really toxic environment, which
Okay.
brings up all kinds of other stuff. So as much as I want to, I also feel like I'm trapped. So I feel like I am double binded all over in my life right now.
Yep.
Isn't that interesting?
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Okay.
I don't know why I'd be coming up tonight. Ugh.
Yeah. And just for some of the people, I want you to get in the context. What are those things coming up in your life that are preventing you from accomplishing your goals, from doing those things you say you want to do? That's your puppy. Okay.
He's so cute though.
Oh yeah, of course he is. Okay. So if you did what you wanted, does that endanger your daughter?
Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you willing to step out of that story?
Nope.
Nope.
Not like the second. Yes, I would like to. But in my mind, I go, but this has to happen, this has to happen, this has to happen, and this has to happen for that
No.
to be true.
Yeah, but these are the rules you're imposing.
I know.
Okay. Remember, the universe is way smarter than you. It'll figure out a way to make things work.
I know.
Okay.
Am I fighting it? Yes.
Yes, so much right now.
Well, and like you were talking earlier about the addiction and the
Yeah.
dopamine, and I was like, oh, yeah, I might be doing that with my ex. Hmm? Hmm. Yeah, there's definitely a need to be right. And part of it is like I had 12 plus years of being invalidated and unheard and unseen. And because I didn't let down my defenses, no one knew that any of it was happening. So then when I actually started sharing about half the crazy shit he does, then it was like, oh, now I see where the addiction comes in, because it was like that feed of like that hit of visibility and acknowledgement of all the stuff that I thought was in my head because I was told it was,
Yeah.
like that all came out.
Okay.
So that's a bit of a tangent.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you need the bad guy in your life?
No,
It's not coming up true.
no, it's
So
I
are
feel
you
it before I
willing?
even said
Yep. Are you willing to step out of the story that you need that bad guy in your life so you can get love from other people?
it. Yep.
Are you willing to step out of the story that you need the dog to be the excuse so you don't have to do things you don't want to do?
Yes.
That's more
Like
of a
I'd really
question
like to
than
say
nothing.
yes, but I'm like, oh, but what would happen to you?
You can still not do the things you don't want to do. You just don't
I know.
need to
I
use the
just don't need
dog
the
as an
reason to
excuse.
not do it.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm ready to step out of the story.
good. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go back to the other one. Are you willing to step out of the story that doing what you want to do will endanger your daughter?
I'd like to say yes.
Okay. What if in doing what you want to do, you make so much money you can hire a nanny, or you can bring your daughter with you and afford all the accommodations and tutoring?
Sad about that.
Okay. And how does that
And then I
feel?
run into her dad again.
Okay. See, but here's the thing. Think about what we just said. You need the villain in your life.
I know.
So you're keeping her dad there as that villain, that representation. And if you step out of that and say you don't need him to be a villain anymore, then you just create all this freedom for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But that means losing that feedback from other people. It's like, oh my God, he's such an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
So what if you don't need their love to fill you up?
Sure. That sounds like a great idea.
What if you fill yourself up with love?
Um, yeah, my brain goes, yeah, but I don't have, like, I give it all away. I don't get to
Okay.
keep any of that.
Okay. Whose story
Oh,
is that?
oh, maybe my mom's.
Yeah. So your mom taught you that you have to give all your love away. It's your job to take care of everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to step out of that story?
Yes.
Yeah, it's moving a little. There's a lot of nodding, but that's like,
I'm
why is
working
it
on it.
why is it so important that you have to take care of everyone else?
because it's been my role my entire life.
So if it's not your role anymore, do you have any value in this life?
No,
Okay, that's the problem. Okay.
I don't know how many different ways we need to hit this one, Shiraz.
As many as it takes. So are you willing to step out of the story that your value only comes from taking care of other people?
There's some resistance there. Like, yes, and
And what?
I don't know. I think there's some fear there. Like, I don't know who I'll be if that's not me.
Well, it's not going
I
to be
don't know
you.
how. I don't know how to just be.
You do. You're just too scared to do it because you're afraid of who you'll be. You're afraid
Okay,
you're afraid you're
I'll
going to
bite on
lose
that.
yourself. Okay, here's the thing. You're afraid you're going to lose yourself. And that's absolutely true because the self you are right now, it's not working. Okay. The self you will become will be more at ease, will live in more abundance, will be way happier. Right? People want change in their lives, but they don't want to change.
Mhm.
But you're always attracting who you are, not what you do. You think you're attracting what you do, which is why you keep trying to take care of everyone else. So when you just become that person who is love for herself and then shares that love from a place of being full, not to get acknowledgement and get love in return, then everything gets easier.
See that?
So are you willing to step out of the story that your value only comes from helping other people?
Yes.
Okay, that was more of a question than an answer.
Like it's like right there, but there's something like there's just resistance there.
Okay. You've been taught that value comes from doing, not from being.
Who taught me that?
No, that's it's irrelevant, but you've been taught that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But value comes from being and it's expressed by doing.
I know you keep saying that. My brain
And I'm
does
going to
not
keep
grasp
saying it
it.
until it sinks into your brain, right?
My
I
brain
don't
does
care
not
if
want
I
to
say
listen
it
to that.
1,000 times, right? And I don't mind saying it 1,000 times because I know eventually it's going to sink in.
My value comes from being, not doing.
Yeah. And what you do is how you express the value. It's not how you get value. And that means you can express your value by hanging out and having a coffee with someone or doing a talk from stage or teaching people about nutrition. Like whatever it is, that's just your value.
Oh, I
What's
know, but
going
the
on?
funny thing, well, the funny thing is like I just had coffee with somebody for the first time, like got into the house, went and had coffee, and then just got hammered, drilling me with questions and asking me, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? I'm like, I just wanted to have a cup of coffee.
Yeah, but you've trained them that
I
you help.
know.
Okay. So
Like
here's
I
what's going to
see
happen.
that. I just don't know how to break the dang cycle,
Okay, so what's going to happen is when you shift and you just come from being, people are going to get uncomfortable with it, okay?
including me, apparently.
Including you. And you have to let everyone live through the discomfort until it just becomes normal. If you adjust to make them comfortable, you've just done everything. You've gone into withdrawal, you've gone back. So be uncomfortable, let them be uncomfortable. And eventually they're going to be like, oh, well, this is how Jen's functioning now. Cool.
So how do I stop making them have the desire to make them comfortable? Because that's like the dog, right? I'm so anxious about his anxiety
Yeah.
that I feel like I need to compensate for it, which is just
Yeah.
part of the cycle. It's part of the problem that I'm.
Yeah. But if your dog picks up on your emotions and you're anxious about his anxiety, then he just becomes more anxious and then you become more anxious. So you're on a
No.
feedback loop. If you stay in a place of calmness, then the dog starts to reflect that calmness and its anxiety goes down. So are you willing to step out of the story that you have to be anxious about your dog's anxiety?
Yes.
That's still more of a question than an answer.
Uh, say it again,
Are
please.
you willing to step out of the story that you have to be anxious about your dog's anxiety?
Yes.
Good. Are you willing to step out of the story that your value comes from doing and not from being?
Yes.
And are you willing to step out of the story that you have to make everyone around you comfortable? Come on, you can do this.
Yes.
It's actually moving. Good. Ooh,
That's a big one.
that was a big one. How's that feel?
A little more settled,
Yay.
more grounded,
Okay. Cool.
just a little buzzy still.
Okay. So meet anxiety with love and acceptance.
Mm, mm,
No, no, no.
mm. I gotta fix that.
No.
I
The
gotta
need
figure out a way to make it go away.
the need to fix it is
Oh
what's causing it to stay. Because your dog is
no,
because it's a push energy and your dog pushes back. Right?
I know. And my daughter, all she wants to do is just make him bark and make him more anxious, and it just freaking is a
Yep.
cycle.
And then there's a push energy with your daughter, and your daughter pushes back. There's a push
Oh, I
energy,
know.
X pushes back.
So how do I stop pushing?
Acceptance. This is just who they are. Now, when you're in acceptance, you don't have to keep people or things in your life. This is who they are, but this is not who I want to hang out with. So this goes with friends, with business
Do
partners.
you know what my number one PQ is?
What's your number one?
Controller.
Oh, I can see that.
I'm like, oh my God, seriously.
Okay. If you don't control everything, we'll all go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the problem. It's not going to go to hell. You just believe it will. So you try to control more, which just makes things worse. And then you try to control more, so you're creating all these feedback loops.
Yes.
Okay. Are you willing to step out of the story that if you're not in control, it all goes to hell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not quite true. So here's the thing. The opposite of
I'm
control
working on
doesn't
it.
have to the opposite of control doesn't have to be chaos. It can be harmony. So that you don't have to be in control, but everything just flows in with whatever you want to do.
What a novel concept.
It's a wonderful concept.
Like, never one that's dawned on me, though.
Okay. So what if you don't need to be in control because everything just flows your way? Okay. Picture this. Whenever I say it, I'm going to say, picture yourself in a boat in a river, and then that song starts playing in my head. Uh, so, and you're on this little boat, and it's just got a rudder, and the river's going along. And there's the things you want are on either side of the riverbank. Now, what most people are doing is they're like, well, one of the things I want is behind me. So you're trying to paddle
Mm-hmm.
upstream on this because that's the thing you want, but there's way more of it down the river. So if you just go with the river and flow with it, and then just use the rudder to say, oh, there's something I want, and just go to that side of the bank and grab it. And then you see something else, I'll go to that side of the bank and grab it. And if there's things on either side, you don't have to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to get to this one, and then I'm going to try and paddle and go there, because you know there's something on the other side will show up again. So you can
Right.
just go and flow and say, I'll take this one now, and I'll take that when it comes up again. And life is just easy, but you're paddling all the time.
Yes. All the time.
So are you willing to step out of the story that if you're not in control, it all goes to hell?
Yes.
There we go.
Like, it never dawned on me that if I let go, it would just be harmony.
Yep.
Like, it feels like there's either control or there's chaos and decline and demise and disaster.
No, those aren't the only two choices. Ooh. Hey, how's that feeling?
Better. I mean, it's emotional as hell. Like, how did I, how have I lived almost 50 years thinking there's two choices of control or chaos?
Because that's what we're taught.
I know.
So it's an easy answer. It's just what we're taught.
Life would be so much easier if it was just harmony.
Yep. So loosen the grip. And now you just get to steer the rudder a little bit and let the universe take care of everything else. The rudder is just setting your intentions. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And when you see the opportunity, then you steer that way and like, let's do that now. And it gets
Yeah, it's like scary and exciting at the same time.
good. That's a cool place to be. And it's
Yeah.
going to get easier and easier, and you're going to get used to being in flow more and more until you're going to look back and say, how the hell did I live that way for all those years?
Let's just hope it doesn't take another 50 to figure it out, okay?
You figured it out. Now you just got to embody it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How do you feel?
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a like. And if you had a shift of your own, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Also, check out the description for energetic magic events that you can attend every single month. Be well, be aware, and be magical.